Oh boy, here they come. Ah! Hello everyone. So recently I've been really surprised by the number of questions I've been getting pertaining to chapters. So I've already gone over how to write an awesome first chapter, but I had a few people, okay, maybe just one person, asking how to break your novel down to the chapter level. No matter what your method of writing or outlining, be it pantser, snowflake method, poster board, whatever, I have some tips that I think you'll find particularly useful. First up though, let's go over some important concepts that we should understand. Good writing should 1. Hook the reader, and 2. Keep the reader hooked. It's as simple as that. Fiction writing may span many genres, but those two things are always constant. Your novel could be a love story or it could be a political thriller, but in order to be a good novel, you have to keep the reader flipping those pages, no matter what you do. Since we've already talked about hooking the reader in the first chapter, let's talk about keeping them hooked. So previously in my outlining video, I talked about how important the structure of your story was, and how the action in a novel should rise and fall kind of like the 3-act structure. It is possible to fatigue your reader though, so a balance must always be maintained from having too much action or having too much emotion. This balance should also be applied loosely to the chapter level. Why loosely? On a larger scale, some chapters will just be more exciting than others. There will be more tension or mysteries or drama or fighting, whatever. But on a microscopic level, even those chapters don't stay at full throttle for too long. Even if it's at the climax of the book, there might be a drop in action when the protagonist thinks that he's lost it all, that he's just gonna give up. At this point, your character is in a low, no longer feeling empowered or capable, and switching to a more emotional state. In the end, your reader needs to go on an emotional/action merry-go-round and shouldn't stay in one spot for too long. Doing so creates fatigue, and that's no bueno. Now that we understand what good writing is, how do we apply that to breaking up our chapters? Well, look for patterns. If you've already outlined your novel by scenes but you aren't sure where to section off those scenes, try to find an emotional pattern. You don't ever want to end a chapter on a dull moment, but rather it should almost feel like a very dramatic pause. For example, if your character gets surrounded by a group of bloodthirsty vampires and she has to Buffy her way out of it, end the chapter right when the vampires surround her. This is a moment where there's brand new tension in your novel, so there's a brand new reason why people will keep reading. A place where the scene might be switching from emotional to an action-packed scene. That is where you should start a new chapter. Not an outliner? Then good luck, because I don't have any tips for you. Just kidding, I have tips for everyone. Still try to look for patterns, only this time you'll be doing it as you write. You might have to write a few scenes and then go back to see if you can find an appropriate place to cut it off and start a brand new chapter. Or you might have that moment where you're writing and you just know that this is the most epic place to start a new chapter. What if you don't get that feeling though? Keep writing. If your story has any life to it, you'll find an issue to stop on or a problem reveal to capitalize on. Read through your manuscript and pick out any moments that would make your readers' eyes bug with wonder, fear, love, or any other emotion we crazy readers have. That should be where you end your chapter. You should also understand the middle. Chapters should end with something to entice the reader to keep going, period. How many of you have said, just one more chapter at some point in your life? Everyone, I hope. Otherwise, we're gonna need to do a book intervention for some people. There needs to be some sense of resolution for every chapter, meaning the characters have in some way addressed the issue that's been plaguing them for that chapter. It may be small, and in fact, in most instances it is, but we need to feel like the character is making some progress. Something is moving the character forward. That character might actually be taking 2 steps back for every 1 step forward, but they're still trying to make progress. Your chapters need to show some of that progress, but the placement of that resolution is often in the middle of your chapter, for novels with action in particular. The beginning of the chapter shows your character struggling with a new problem. The middle hints towards resolution of that problem, and then the end creates a brand new or a slightly different problem. Let's take a minute to discuss the meaning of the end. The end of your chapter most likely is the one deciding factor as to whether or not that reader goes to sleep or stays up in the late AM trying to figure out what's going to happen next in your book. This is your opportunity to snag them really good. Try to section your chapters off by problems. Look for flags where a big problem has just been introduced, one that changes the game. This issue should end up being some kind of hurdle for your protagonist, something that you'll address in the chapters that follow. This problem could be a personal one, where the character reveals something about them that could hinder their progress toward that goal, or a physical one, where maybe their car breaks down or they get arrested. When ending your chapter with a problem, the reader's going to question how your character is going to respond or what that's going to mean for the story. It creates interest, and more importantly, it captures that Joe Mac effect that we're all going for. You know, just one more chapter effect. You should try your darndest to never end your chapter with the resolution. If you end your chapter with your character peacefully falling asleep, then guess what your reader is going to be tempted to do? Instead of staying up late to read your novel, they're going to be catching some Z's themselves. One of my favorite methods for deciding when to start or end a chapter is the Holy Mega Mother reveals. So another marker where you can end the chapter can be some huge reveal of some major piece of information. Something that makes the reader stop, and look around and try to tell anybody with ears about what just happened in this frickin' book. This can be the reveal for a character's purpose in the story, a plot twist, or a huge secret that someone's been dying to keep. Reveals can be done through both dialogue and narrative, so don't be afraid to get creative with it. Be careful though, because these big chapter endings require a lot of build-up, sometimes novel-length build-up. So be cautious about using this ending too much, as the anticipation won't have time to properly build up. When done correctly, these are the best types of page turners and can light a fire under your reader's butt to keep them going. My favorite example of this is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Professor Snape's famous "always" quote just about made my heart stop. That was the holy mega mother reveal of all time, sending me on a rampage throughout the house repeating "oh my god, oh my god, oh my god" over and over and over again as my heart just bled all over the floor. Okay, that was a colorful picture. Moving on. I think the easiest way that you can decide how to break up your chapters is through point of view. If you have more than one person telling the story, use that to break your chapters up. It's typically not a good idea to bounce from character to character within a single chapter because it might confuse your reader. This is how my current manuscript is actually broken down, but you still have to consider a few things when you're organizing your chapters. If you have more than one protagonist, you don't want to spend too much time on one particular character. Try to hop kind of evenly between them, but it doesn't have to be word for word exact. This is the fun part. There's some instances where you can juggle the action/emotional balance between those characters. For example, if a female character has just fallen into a pit of poisonous snakes and there's no hope for escape, pause her story for a minute. You've already got the readers really invested. Switch over to another character. Don't you hate when they do that in novels? I know I do, but it works because I keep reading. In the meantime, your second protagonist is on the hunt to find her, so desperately trying to find her. And this builds tension in your novel through dramatic irony. You know, when the reader knows something that the second character doesn't know and they're screaming at the novel, telling them what to do or what not to do. Don't go in the cellar. Open that freaking door. Don't open the door. You know, like a crazy person. A clever balance in your chapters can take your novel from okay to absolutely maddeningly and epically awesome. And what writer doesn't want that? For me personally, I don't worry about sectioning off my scenes into chapters until after I'm completely done writing my outline. And my outlines are pretty detailed. A lot of times, new writers can get stuck on the small things like how many words should be in my chapters, or where's the hard and fast guide to writing my chapters. It can be different for everyone, and that should not be a bad thing. You should feel a sense of creative freedom that you're able to choose what's best for your own story. Alright, so that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, be sure to thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I post new writing videos every Wednesday. And if you ever have any writing questions or suggestions for my new videos, be sure to tweet me at Vivian Reese. Bye guys!